everyone, and thank you for tuning in to BC Rewind and Review. I'm Naomi Exius.
And I'm Abigail Pena. Naomi, have you heard about what's going on in Arizona?
No.
Earlier this year, Arizona citizens tried to pass a bill, 1062 to be exact, that caused protesters to go into action. Ori Widget has more on the story.
An Arizona bill caused controversy early this year. The bill would have given businesses the right to deny service to anyone that did not have the same religious views. Protesters flooded the streets, saying the bill was not right, while supporters of Bill 1062 said it was a matter of religious freedom. The bill would have given business owners the legal right to refuse service to anyone they please. So if you are a homosexual, the owners could have told you they do not want to serve you because of their religious views, and there would be nothing you could have done. However, Arizona's Governor Jan Brewer vetoed the bill on February 25, 2014.
Bill 1062 does not address a specific or present concern related to religious liberty in Arizona.
I'll be talking to local business owners and LGBT representatives on their take on Arizona's decision. Nashanti Washington, a member of the LGBT community, believes that State's Bill 1062 would cause a relapse in the growth of tolerance in New Jersey.
It would be forcing New Jerseyans to really go back into the closet.
Ms. Washington is a counselor for a transgender group at Hudson Pride in Jersey City. As she sat there with a picture of the Million Man March behind her, she thought on how far African Americans have come and how since that day people are still
separation of church and state should never mean separation of God and right.
I think it's terrible because at this point in time, I think our society as a whole should be moving forward for equality.
She even shares the story on how she was discriminated against without a bill even being considered in New Jersey.
I felt it brought a group of guys walking up on me and two of my friends and saying, "Oh, hey, those are men." And one guy threw a milkshake out of his car.
Washington, like many others, has to deal with discrimination just because of the color of their skin or sexuality. But she had to deal with being both African American and transgender. So her view on the Arizona bill that many tried to make a law is that it would cause those who were different to be outcast, by saying that those who were for the bill were just exercising their religious freedom.
Because God has established what man is supposed to do, and he expects man to do it his way, not a way independently of him. And when you do things independently of him, you bear consequences that you don't want to bear. And so
people in our society to live the way they want to, with equal rights, with the same rights as everyone else.
She was floored that there was such a bill that was even put up for a vote. Washington felt as though the bill was more than just a bill, but that it would have a long-lasting impact on others.
Somebody is sending the wrong message by saying that they want to even consider a bill like that.
Yet Washington's family and closest friends have accepted her and her lifestyle, unlike so many others.
Family events, they can't, they're not allowed to be around their family, period, being themselves. So I'm just thankful to be able to go to Thanksgiving and Christmas and, family reunions and stuff.
She is the first transgender in her family and does not feel any less loved, unlike so many others who has to deal with the day-to-day trial of being different.
Wow. I wonder what would happen if that law came to New Jersey.
Yeah, me too.
Let us know your thoughts on Twitter. Hit us up on hashtag BCRNR. Now we turn over the story to Christina Parisian.
Coming up, we'll hear from local Bloomfield College athletes and hear how they feel about Michael Sam's coming out as an openly gay football player. Mariana Martinez has more on the story.
I'm Michael Sam. I'm a football player and I'm gay.
2 words proudly spoken by the NFL prospect Michael Sam. I'm gay has officially changed the face of football forever. The macho sport has been said to be more than likely the last sport that will integrate an out gay player.
We've had enough conversation now that this can happen and people will know how to respond instead of reacting in a negative way.
The response from the NFL players throughout the league varied, like Giants player Terrell Thomas, who said, "I think society is ready for it, and America's ready for it, but I don't think the NFL is. As a player, all you want to know is if he can play. That's on the field, but in the locker room, it's different. There's a lot of talk and joking around, and some guys walk around completely naked all the time, and they might not want to do that anymore. When you add that situation to the mix, I think it's going to make some people uncomfortable." Other players took to Twitter to show their support for Michael Sam, like Jonathan Martin, who tweeted, "Hats off to you, Michael Sam. That takes some guts. Good for Michael Sam. Takes courage for where he is in his career and where we are as a league. I applaud him. There is no room for bigotry in American sports. It takes courage to change the culture." Can NFL players handle focusing on the job at hand, playing football? For some players like Maurice Dixon, offensive linebacker for California University of Pennsylvania, it's a no-brainer.
Major football locker room has one rule, it's called eyes up. So as long as they instill that rule, eyes up, everybody will just be focused on the main object, which is football at the end of the day.
In 2014, a person's sexual orientation should not be given the power to determine or take away from a player's athleticism. Kevin Carabello, baseball player for Bloomfield College, agrees.
I'm saying he's a great player. He's gay, and he's, like I said, he's a great player. And not only that, we have Jason Collins too in the NBA. Jason Collins, he's a really good basketball player. He's one of the best centers out there. So, and he's gay too. So that has nothing to do with anything. I don't think it takes away from you on anything. Just all you gotta do is keep working hard to be the best, and no matter if you're gay or not.
Extremist groups across the U.S. have taken it as far as beginning petitions and protests against Michael Sam. These actions seem to echo an eerie deja vu feeling of the segregation in sports of the 1940s. Anthony Perez from NJ.com speaks on that.
There's certain, and this whole petition thing, I think that was something right out of Jackie Robinson. This is not, we're not in the 1940s. We've come a long way, and I hope these players, accept him for who he is and him being a really good football player.
Loyalty and companionship are two must-haves to be a football player. For Maurice Dixon, they are not only necessary but mandatory to have a successful team.
Loyalty is definitely a rule in the locker room because you become more of a brotherhood and a family. So if you have a brother from the age of 1 all the way to a grown man, 22 like myself, you build that loyalty up. But football is kind of different because you sacrifice so much in a short period of time.
A study conducted by UCLA's Williams Institute of Law has determined that there are approximately 9 million gay Americans.
If 10% of America is gay, I think that's a good portion of pro athletes, and a lot of people and a lot of athletes who are in the closet right now.
Michael Sam has said, "Divided we are weak, together we are strong." Whether the NFL, America, or anyone else is ready for an openly gay football player, the time has come. The time is now.
So tell us your thoughts on Twitter at #BCRNR. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Christina.
College drinking has always been an issue. Nowadays, it has gone beyond peer pressure. What do you think is the main cause for drinking on campus today? Perla Peralta has more on the story.
Kings, Flip Cup, beer pong, neck nominate, and quarters. These are just a couple of the thousands of drinking games that are popular among college students. For some students, drinking games are what sum up the college experience. The weekends were made for the parties, and whatever happens that weekend, it is crucial that it needs to be posted on social media with an appropriate hashtag. But with students living on campus and schools trying to keep their dorms dry, drinking becomes an issue, especially when the students are bringing the alcohol to their rooms. Some students feel impelled to drink, especially because of peer pressure, but now there are way more influences, such as social media. I had a chance to catch up with Amanda Reyes, a junior at Bloomfield College, who told me her story on how she got in trouble for on-campus drinking.
Actually, last semester I had a situation where I had a party in my dorm room, and the security came, the RD, which is the resident director, she oversees all the RAs, she busted through my door and found copious amounts of liquor.
Amanda Reyes was not alone. In another dorm, Mark Reyes, also a junior at Bloomfield College, had a very similar story.
Me and a couple of the guys in my room threw a party, and we got caught drinking because apparently it was too loud in the room, and when they came in, they found a bottle on the island counter and one in the trash can, and got in quite a bit of trouble over it. I once got kicked out of housing, and right now I'm currently on probation.
Some students may think that holding a party in their dorm and drinking can lead to a fun night, but everything has its repercussions. Since Mark and Amanda were caught drinking on college premises, they were held responsible for their actions by the college rules and regulations.
Well, I had to meet with the RD on campus. His name is Michael Chavis, and I had a lovely meeting with him where I was told that I was put on housing probation, which means that if I get in trouble one more time, that I would be kicked off of campus and would not be able to live on campus anymore.
Mark Reyes had a very similar response to his actions.
Well, after I got written up by my RAs, I got an email from the RD. His name is Bado Oliverna. And he sent me an email with the sanction saying this is what I was being written up for, and I had to go to his office later that week with the other people I got written up with, and we had to plead our case. And he was just telling us what was going on with the whole situation, what we got in trouble for, and what we could be facing.
As mentioned before, the students have to meet with an RD or resident director at 64 Liberty Street to help the students with the issue, as well as discipline. A resident director at Bloomfield College, Michael Chavis, talked briefly about the programs available at Bloomfield College and how they try to prevent on-campus drinking.
You have to be intentional with the programming and the initiatives that you do, both outside and inside of the residence halls. I know a lot of our RAs, some of the programs that they put on are geared towards alcohol education and alcohol prevention.
One thing that Michael, Amanda, and Mark do share in common is their belief that social media has promoted more drinking on campus.
Definitely. I think that because we have Instagram and Twitter, people could tweet out and say, hey, there's a party here, 20 more students can come.
Social media is so big nowadays where people want to put up pictures and tweet about everything. This in today's age, people just want to document everything on social media and everyone knows about it.
Every single alcohol case that I've had this semester, we got evidence from social media, and that's where it started. That's how we knew about it, is because somebody posted on Instagram or somebody posted on Twitter, or somebody posted on Vine. And
even though social media leaves a trail of papers behind, people still won't stop posting their pictures and promote how cool it is to drink. But why will they stop when they have such influences as, and of course, making it seem as though it's the way to go? As social media continues to grow among college students, more and more schools, just like Bloomfield College, are working hard to prevent on-campus drinking. For BC Rewind and Review, I'm Perla Peralta.
Make sure you keep it dry on campus, and if you have any questions, to refer back to your handbook.
And after we come back from our break, we'll have Christina talking more about campus safety.
Every day, millions of people are outcasted because they do not fit in with the norm.
We're different. I don't wear the same classes, I don't wear the same clothes, I dress different, I work different. We unorthodox out here, you feel me?
I'm Hispanic and I can't dance.
I'm 23 and I have no kids.
I'm gay and I'm Republican.
I'm a girly girl, but I like sports.
We're different, but we're the same.
This is a message for the class of 2014. It's time to bring an end to those stressful essays, to those random nap sessions, to studying on the library floor, to sitting in on lectures, on long lectures. An end to last-minute studying and a beginning to a brand new career. No worries, seniors. Your time to shine is near.
Graduation 2014! Woo!
Welcome back to BC Rewind and Review. So it looks like school and safety conversations should focus more on staff and community preparation and not on the type of weapon. Abigail Pena has more on Bloomfield College safety.
Crime in schools and colleges is therefore one of the most troublesome social problems in the nation today. And with the semester finishing at Bloomfield College and no major changes to safety procedures, students like Vanessa Garcia feel that they're still not safe of any outside attack.
I recently had something happen to me. It was a day of formal, spring formal 2014, and I had gone back from the mall. I went upstairs to my room and I forgot something in my car. So I came back downstairs and one of the girls that lives in my house, she tends to have company, outsiders a lot, and I've never really mind. So, you know, I thought it was a regular day. And I came down the stairs. I went out to my front door. There was like 4 guys there, really tall guys. I went into the parking lot, got something from my car, and when I got into my car, I saw 15 guys walking on Spruce down to the corner, throwing stuff. It was literally 15 guys throwing stuff at rocks and a whole bunch of stuff at the window. Because these are complete strangers. And honestly, I feel like it would be much better if we were able to have a gated community at Bloomfield College, just for safety reasons, because you just never know. And sometimes the doors in the houses aren't locked, you know, because students feel so comfortable. It's just students all the time, but you just never know.
Schools and college campuses, where young people spend part or all of their day, are often assumed to be safe places. Yet, children 12 to 18 still experience and witness numerous acts of violence in their schools, negatively affecting their emotional security and education. I sat down with Bloomfield College Director of Security, Jack Cortez, and spoke to him about Bloomfield College safety, and this is what he had to say.
We do consider it to be a safe campus. Our statistics bear it out over the years. Our statistics are usually, almost every year, better than the surrounding community.
The issue of campus security, in particular whether firearms should be allowed on campus, has continued to be hotly contested throughout the nation, especially since the Virginia Tech massacre in 2007, which remains the deadliest school shooting in the United States to date. I sat down with Dr. Leonard Roberts, the Associate Dean for Student Affairs here at Bloomfield College, and this is what he had to say about the topic.
People aren't concerned about their safety and security until they're faced with a threat. And when it's imminent, then they want to know what they need to do. My role as Associate Dean, one of my roles, is to get information out there to everybody and to train our emergency response team, our volunteer emergency response team, to set up policies and procedures and guidelines that's going to provide for a safe and secure Bloomfield College campus. So we want to get that information out there to students. I'm always telling students to sign up for emergency text messaging. You know, we work very closely with the resident advisors here at the college to make sure that they understand what kinds of emergency procedures are required in order to have a safe campus. Again, as I said before, be mindful of the fact that we are an open campus. There's no walls around our campus, so anybody can come onto this campus. Be mindful of, you know, when you're walking down the street, that we have a very safe and secure environment. But it's open, so just be aware of your surroundings, become aware of the emergency guidelines that exist here at the college.
Until college campuses can guarantee a student will never encounter this situation, they should never prohibit the student from finding their own way of protection. Ultimately, the only person that can protect yourself 24/7 is you. For BC Rewind and Review, this is Abigail Pena.
With the recent uprise of gun violence, No More Rounds, a nonprofit organization, has decided to take a shot at justice. Naomi Exius has more on the story.
I'm a 22-year-old from Newark, New Jersey, and the co-founder of No More Rounds, a nonprofit organization to keep everyone informed of the gun violence that is happening around different communities and states. Right now, No More Round is working on their college tour by keeping the youth educated on the truth about gun violence and what's going on around them. He says that most people don't know how to cope with it.
We have people who have dealt with gun violence to actually come out and speak and, you know, try to give people, you know, some type of comfort and different tips how to cope with it, how to be aware, and what to do like in certain situations. We know about these tragedies that happen, and we just like brush it on the side and say, oh, like, that's not my family, you know, it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen to nobody close to me, but in actuality, it can happen to anybody. So with that, we try to keep people more aware and tell them, you know, you have to be, you know, active in the community to get people, you know, stop the violence, stuff like that.
So far, the organization has made appearances at many locations, such as Rutgers University, Rowan University, the College of New Jersey, Lincoln Park in Jersey City. They try to gather more people and get them involved in the movement by hosting rallies against gun violence and gun buyouts, which allows legal and illegal gun owners to drop off their gun anonymously. The founders Breonna Taylor and Christopher Davis have been talking with numerous of students about the impact that gun violence has had on their lives. They plan on doing more events, which should set off the buzz for their first documentary. Gun violence has always been a problem around the world. According to Datablog, Yemen, the second highest gun ownership country in the world, that has 54 firearms per 100 people, while the United States averages 88 firearms per 100 people, and the list goes on. Jairus Burgess is a 21-year-old student at Bloomfield College studying business marketing. Jairus spends most of his time reading and studying his lessons. When he's not in his books, he's with his friends, hanging out and socializing. Jairus is very proud of his friend Christopher Davis for making an effort to end gun violence with his organization. He sees that it takes more than just planning, but dedication as well. He knows that it takes people who are truly committed to make a change in any aspect, especially in gun violence.
It's one thing to stand up against something and, you're preaching and, but it's another thing to put action to it as well. So when you preach something and you practice it, it's excellent. It's different from just talking and saying we should do this, we should do that.
When it comes to government officials doing their part, Jairus has lost all faith in them.
I don't think nothing's going to get done no time soon. This country has too many problems with foreign issues to worry about the stuff that's going on in its own backyard. This country is backwards, so nothing's going to get done no time soon.
He knows that life for a young man isn't simple anymore, so he aims to take advantage of every chance he gets. Joining different organizations and clubs on campus helps him with those different opportunities. By doing this, he hopes to encourage good habits amongst his peers.
We just have to seize the opportunities that we're faced with. Wherever those opportunities are, we have to do our best to seize them every day.
If you know anyone in need of a support team, or if you want to have No More Rounds come to a school or city near you, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at No More Rounds. Visit their official webpage for more info at www.nomorerounds.org.
Remember, if you are not a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem. If you do nothing, you are a part of the problem.
Welcome back. The N-word, is it controversial or is it a term of endearment? Christina Parisian with more on this topic.
The N-word. Could it be the most offensive word in American history? Many might agree, but some might think differently.
First thing first, I love all my hitters. This rap cracking, I involve my hitter. You looking for some rain, let me call my hitter. He selling for the high, I need all my.
Throughout the years, the N-word has evolved as one of the nation's top racial slurs for Black Americans living in the United States. It has then become a term used freely by the Black community. Surprisingly, it has taken a turn in white America. The N-word has been adopted by pop culture in today's generation as a term of endearment. We see it constantly on social media and in day-to-day conversation. As offensive as the N-word may be, Bloomfield College student Troy Caldwell seems unbothered by the word's weight.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. I wouldn't really care. I have other things to worry about than a word. It's used in pop culture, it's used all over the place. It's in movies, videos, everywhere. It's just a word to me. I really don't know, I got bigger things to worry about than the word.
Although Caldwell seems unaffected by the word, members of the NAACP and older generations understands the pain that the N-word has brought. Now, as embraced as the N-word has become in today's generation, there are still a few people who don't feel that the use of the word is appropriate. Bloomfield College student Janelle Castro is one of few.
Clearly, I'm Asian, so I don't feel comfortable saying that or having that in my vocabulary or anything like that.
There have been countless accounts of the word being used freely among today's generation, so much so that people have become downright comfortable using it. Dr. Jean Nutter, a professor here at Bloomfield College, shares with us her views on the N-word and how she relates it to her students so they can have an understanding on why this word has such a hold on American history.
Many people in my generation have problems with the N-word because we grew up when the N-word was used in a negative fashion towards African Americans. It was not a term of endearment. For songs with the N-word, there'd be the N-word rag, the N-toe rag. There would be 10 little Enners and like the 10 Little Indian song about little African American children and annihilating them. My student said, Professor Nutter, if we knew the history of this word, we wouldn't think of it as a term of endearment and we would understand why there's the controversy over it. I think there will be a long controversy over this word. I think there are young people that still will say my N and talk about it in that way. There will be people, not just young people, some older people who use it, but there are still going to be some people that understand that this word is used. And one of my issues is that if it's used as a term of endearment, there's still people that use it negatively and will feel that they have the right to use it as a derogatory word.
The question still remains. Will the N-word lose its power from day-to-day use as a term of endearment, or will it still be seen as a part of America's horrific past? What is certain is that even with its hold on today's generation, there are still many that are ready for its disposal.
I say good riddance to the N-word, die N-word, and we don't want to see you around here no more.
BC Rewind and Review, Christina Parisian.
Speaking of controversy, rapper Kanye West has been known to spice things up in the media. Here he is backing up the Confederate flag. Here's Nia Ruth with a story.
Rapper Kanye West is stirring up a lot of media about his tour merch featuring the Confederate flag.
Kanye West wearing quite a jacket. Take a look at it. It features the Confederate flag. Is Kanye cuckoo here?
React how you want. Any energy you got is good energy.
Receiving mixed reviews and responses, Kanye seems to be taking the flag and making it his. Before Kanye could do that, let's get a little history on the Confederate flag.
What the Confederate flag represented has been rather misinterpreted and misunderstood. It's taken on a meaning through the years that it did not originally have.
I fight for the Union as a reenactor. I have as much respect and honor for the rebels as I do for the Union people. I think those people were just, even at that time, were just as honorable as we are. They were fighting for a cause just like we were. They might have been different causes, but we were fighting for a just cause. And it wasn't slavery.
There were several black soldiers fighting for the South, armed, and the one difference is the Confederates treated their black soldiers better than we did. They almost mutinied, and General Grant had to threaten to hang an entire regiment because they refused to fight next to a black regiment. Where in the Confederacy, their black soldiers got the same food, they fought side by side, they got the same weapons, they didn't have the same problems we had in our army.
I took the Confederate flag and made it my flag. It's my flag now. Now what you gonna do? You know, the Confederate flag represented slavery in a way, the way my abstract, that's my abstract take on what I know about it, right? So I made the song New Slave.
My mama was raised in the era when clean water was only served to the fairer skin. Doing clothes you would have thought I had help, but they wasn't satisfied unless I picked the cotton myself. You see his brother erase him, that's that don't touch anything in the stove.
After word got out, the media had a lot to say because they could not understand where Kanye was going with it.
It seems like he's doing what a lot of African Americans and hip hop artists have done now with the N-word, tried to take it, make it their own, and flip it to make it not so bad. The question is it working?
Rapper B.O.B. believes he means all good from it.
Yeah, man, I think it's amazing. I think it takes all the negative power away from the Confederate flag. Really just like the word, it's like it became it was a derogatory word that became a term of endearment for black people, and now it's like let's just let's take all the give us flag, give us all.
College student Joe Miola believes differently.
And I'm not too fond of it. I think that when you look back on the history of what the Confederate flag stood for in the Confederacy, I mean, they wanted to keep slavery, and when I'm a person of color, I'm a black man, it's just not something I think that any black person should try and promote in any way, say that you change it, but you can't change the meaning behind that. It's there, it's in the history, you can't rewrite history, it's already been written. So I think that honestly he should be a better role model and a better, just for the black community, be better and just not promote something like that.
Good reviews and bad, Kanye is taking in all publicity behind this marketing plan and is not fazed by any of it. I think it's safe to say, in different areas, the Confederate flag have different meanings. But overall, I think everyone would be happy if Kanye marketed this flag.
We've hit the streets, we've talked to the people, and this is the flag they want. Stars of the WB.
Well, I appreciate you.
I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have.
Thank you for tuning in.
Stay interactive. Hit us up on Twitter at #BCRNR.
Thanks for watching, and once again, I'm Christina Breezian.
I'm Abigail Pena.
Naomi Exius, and this is BC Rewind and Review.